Season 4, Episode 8 of Inspirations. That's my podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing. So my name is Christelle, and I'm the host of this podcast. And this is Amelia, my youngest daughter, who is having a hard time these days. She's a bit under the weather with the varicelle. I don't even know what the name is in English, but yes, it's a child disease, you know, which is not very severe, but gives a lot of spots all over the body, and she wants to scratch herself a lot, and she's a bit, you know, not feeling herself. She's a bit grognon. So she wanted to be with me on the podcast because I've just finished filming the French version, and she barged in during the end of the podcast and then wanted to stay with me and on my lap. So be it. I mean, I have no ambition of for this podcast of it to be completely, you know, sterile and perfect. That's life, guys. Okay, and sometimes you have to have your 3 years old on your lap. Okay, so today I just wanted to tell you one thing. Wow, what a world we live in. So last week I filmed the episode just before having the news of the war in Ukraine. So I was so happy, and you know, it was just COVID at the time. All life was so easy. So now you have this whole war on top of that, plus some scary personal news on top of that as well. So yeah, I usually got a lot of feedback about how I'm super smiling all the time and super happy, and it's tough these days, okay? I just didn't feel like recording the podcast, but it's important for me just to show up, even if the stars are not aligned and everything is not perfect, and at least I'm here, even if I'm not as smiling as I am on other episodes. I mean, it's hard. I'm super scared. I mean, anxiety level is like sky high. It's rocketing toward the moon, and I mean, we are on the same boat, all on the same planet. Just told me, Mom, you have to speak in French. Mais non, je fais la version anglaise, mon chaton. D'accord? Donc c'est pour ça que je parle en anglais. Ok?
Il faut parler en français.
Oui, je sais, mais sur l'autre. Ok? Now I have to keep on. Tu peux rester tranquille? Je continue? Ok? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, so I'm just trying to stay in the, you know, in the moment, not trying to think too much about the future. I'm just getting news once a day, and then I'm done for the day. I'm not watching anything else. Because I want to keep my anxiety level at the minimum to be able to continue being a mom and a human being, okay? And a functioning human being. So today I wanted to show you this very cute bunny, and also the top of my child head, and the new colorway for the Sock Knitter's Almanac, okay? And those feet as well. It's very cute bunny feet. So for the Sock Knitter's Almanac, I'm going to share with you today the theme and the colorway for March. So the principle of the Sock Knitter's Almanac is to choose a colorway that's, you know, inspired by the month. And well, this month it's not the case, okay? This is completely out of March, which is usually about hope and renewal and hold on one sec. I do not guarantee that you won't see the bunny again, but she agreed for me to continue, so that's cool. Okay, so March colorway is here. It's all about, you know, mossy tree trunks, mysterious forest, and quite, you know, dark and a bit foreboding until you see the little doors at the base of the trees. So that's really something that I love, fairy doors in the trees. I mean, it's lovely and it's whimsical and it's like kind of in the same fantasy slash Celtic theme that I have, and medieval theme that I have going this trimester, without really planning it actually. But yeah, so the name of the of the colorway to this month, sorry, is Brocéliande, which is the name of the most famous enchanted forest in France, in Brittany. And this is the colorway. So it's, I wanted to capture the idea of mossy tree trunks. Yes, of mossy tree trunks. Je parlerai en français après ma biche. Told her I would speak French afterwards. So with just the tiniest whimsical touch of fluorescent pink in speckles. So I'm going to show you the different bases. So here is Brocéliande on tweed. This is BFL. So tweed and BFL cut the yarn, the dye, in a pretty faded way. Whereas, for example, we have MCN, who clearly separated the colored sequences, and we have something much less faded. So you can see that the fluorescent pink speckles are really very soft, not something that will show up quite clearly, but more like an undertone, because I had to go with the voilà, tête du lapin. I had to go with fluorescent pink if I wanted them to show, because the base for the first time in the Socknitas Almanac is pretty dark and saturated. I wanted to explore what it would be like if I went with a colorway that would play on very saturated colors. So you have a very dark base of brown, and then different shades of browns and greens. And then the same colors in speckles, and the very last touch of fluorescent pink speckles. So here you go. You can see them. That's on extra thin sock 3-ply. And I think that colorway is almost like a neutral, so you can definitely use it. I dyed it on Moraine silk as well, so you could definitely use it on bigger pieces. And also I wanted a colorway that would look good on yak, because you know yak is naturally a very dark shade of brown and grey, and so I wanted a colorway that would look good on that base as well, and where you would be able to still see the different colors play on the base, despite it being very dark to start with. So here it is, and that's the base, that's yak sock, and that's the base I used to crochet and knit my samples. But I will definitely knit and crochet some samples with a white base as well. But you can see how the colors are playing together. It's dark, but there's a lot of nuances as well, and I'm very happy about how it came out. And the bunny is going crazy. Bunny is going crazy behind the scenes. So there you go for this month colorway. The sock pattern I'm offering you to knit with this colorway is called the double gusset socks, and it's a very interesting sock construction. It's a vanilla socks, but with a special double gusset technique that has the heel of the sock really, I don't know how to say it, but it keeps very close to your foot actually. Yeah, the fit is very good. Yes, that's the word. The fit is very good. And that's it for this month. So, oh, here is the pattern I'm offering to to knit again. On peut arrêter avec le lapin 2 minutes, s'il te plaît? C'est mon travail là. That's my work, baby. C'est mon travail, ma chérie. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you also was my progress on my Kala shawl. So the Kala shawl is the pattern I was, talking to you about last week. It's in Laine magazine number 7.
C'est quoi ce truc?
Ça, c'est l'étiquette de la laine.
De la laine?
So this is the Kala shawl, and I made good progress on that. I've been monogamously knitting on this for the past week, and I've started yesterday the second repetition of the chart. There you go. So I'm really happy with how this is turning out. You can see that the yarn definition the stitch definition is good with this yarn. I was, I didn't know what to expect because it's the first time I'm knitting with this yarn. So this is very good, and I mean, it's a delight to knit from with. It's a blend. I was saying, my battery died. The blend is alpaca, silk and cashmere, and it's buttery soft to knit with. It's glorious. The other thing I made just a tad of progress on is, this new cross-stitch project that I talked to you about. It's the Little Red Riding Hood Parade, and this is it. So there is just a few crosses in there yet, but you can see the color of the linen is beautiful, and I'm loving the needleminder as well. So that's by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, guys. And last thing I wanted to share with you is the end of my story about the murdered sock. So last weekend I went to my parents because we had some birthdays to celebrate. Including the one of the sister whose sock I murdered. And we arrived on Saturday evening. We had dinner with my parents, in which I told them the whole story. And my father was like crying from laughter, okay? And then the next day, the Sunday, we had the family lunch. And we were having the apéro, and my sister just leans in and told me, when do you think you will be finished with my socks? Because I'm really missing them. I don't have many hand-knitted socks, and I'm missing them so much. So do you think you'll be finished soon? And I almost choked on my my apéro. I was like, okay, alors, about that, there's something I need to tell you. And at that moment, my father and mother understood what we were talking about, and then my father couldn't help himself and laughing out loud again. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a? Ah, attends, on peut terminer le podcast, on n'est plus pour longtemps. D'accord? Tu peux rester tranquille jusqu'à la fin? J'ai presque fini. So I started to laugh out loud, and my sister didn't understand what it was all about, and I really had a hard time telling her. It was like it was here and didn't want to go out. But I told her, and she was like, okay, it's not an issue, don't worry, and it's okay. And I just wanted to show you the yarn that I dyed to replace our socks. So nothing like the original, okay? I think this must be my interpretation of this, which is not close at all. Anyway, just to tell you that when two dyers happen to have something very similar, do not always think that one copied the other, because it's not easy. This is the yarn I tried to reproduce because the dyer went out of business. But you see, it's nothing close to the original, and I think I'm quite good at dyeing yarn. So it's not easy just to, you know, copy the work of someone else. So yeah, I think there might be coincidences. And sometimes you end up with the colorway that is very similar, but it's not easy to just copy something. And this is my rendition of the colorway, so it's really not what I thought it would be. Anyway, there will be some in the shop soon. I don't think I will... Attends, presque fini. I don't think I will put this as a regular colorway because it's really close from Snapdragon, which was the Sockney's Almanac for the month of May of last year. So, okay guys, and when you told me you were very sorry that you laughed out loud at my story, I mean, it was meant to be like this. I didn't want to make you cry, I just wanted you to have a laugh about that, so that's okay, don't worry. And everything's fine. My sister's still talking to me, she still loves me, and that's what's counts. And it's time to say goodbye to little Bunny and to Amelia and to me. I hope you will have a lovely week. I send you lots of good vibes to go through these dark times. I hope you and your family are safe. I shared some links to help Ukraine in the show notes, but that's from a French point of view, so maybe it will not work for you, but maybe your government has some resources to direct you if you want to give a hand or give a help or money or material donations to Ukraine. Anyway, there's a link in the show notes, so take care guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.